Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. How are you today? Hello, hello. What were you doing this week, and what plans do you have for the weekend? Because um, before my before my vacation, I decided to go. I decided to work a little bit, and I'm going to work on Saturday. Hello, hello, hello. Any plans for this weekend? Good morning. Good morning. It's not morning already. It's fine sense. Okay, cool. So before my vacation, nothing interesting. Okay. Before my vacation, I decided to work a little bit, and more people wanted to have lessons. More and more people decided to have lessons now this week because I'm going on vacation, and some of them also go on vacation, so they decided um, to have lessons before vacation. And that's why it's more lessons than usual, and I have more lessons than usual. It's kind of a bit difficult. So I decided to make my life more interesting and decided to work on Saturday. Welcome to the open day, open door days. It's Julian near me, near my house, and I hear all the planes, all the sounds near. So well, like that. That's just the usual life of mine. So I have some lessons. Good. So today we are going to have a look at collaboration and teamwork. And first of all, I would like to ask you a usual question that people are asked during job interviews. Do you prefer working on a team or your own? And I would like to give you some tips to answer this question in a correct and in a way that will somehow buy your employers in. Can you type in the chat box your answers? Do you prefer working on your own or in a team? Nobody answers me. Okay, good. So George Carlin once said, think of how stupid the average person is and realize half of them are stupider than that. In an ideal world, we would be surrounded by like-minded people of whom we click with on a deeper level. The people who we work with would be like our best friends. And once the day was over, all of you would go out and celebrate the cohesiveness of your work environment. Unfortunately, most people are unfathomably annoying. There is a reason that most people work in cubicles, so that you can do your job and go home. Right? Most people work. So without the constant reminder that our co-workers are sharing your air. Employees would like to learn how you feel about working with others. Do you prefer to work in a team or independently? Question is common at many job interviews, especially if there is considerable focus on meetings or collaboration. Still, the answer is not as straightforward as you would think. You shouldn't answer whether I prefer to work as a team. Teams accomplish more and provide great ideas. It sounds like that's a good answer, and employees may even accept that answer, but you are not going to wow any employee with the response. And of course, your goal is to truly impress them. Instead, your answer should be close to the following. It depends on the task. When it comes to brainstorming, teams produce great ideas with multiple input, and teams can highlight people's strengths. But I certainly enjoy working on my tasks as an individual as well, since in many ways it takes the ability to work alone for the team to fully succeed. Even though some companies may claim that they want someone that is a team player, the truth is that someone that claims they prefer not to work alone is not going to work out well in the corporate environment. So the answer above incorporates both values and qualities. So you should probably, to answer this question, depends on the situation, usually on my own, because when you work in a team, a lot of misunderstandings happen. Right. I can resonate with you, Dasha, here, because but today I'm going to answer some of the questions. Today I'm going to highlight the advantages and disadvantages and the differences between a group and a team and working as an individual. So the interview tips for you. You should like both working in a team and working alone. And you should work well as an individual, not only like working, but you should work well so you could show the results, the positive results. And don't necessarily give the easy answer to the interviewers. That's it. Right. What are the advantages and disadvantages of working on your own and working in a team? Can you type in the chat box? What are the advantages and disadvantages of working on your own and being a part of a team? I prefer working in a team because it's interesting and fun to create something new. Also, we can consult with each other when we create a project, right? That's a very good quality you have. Okay. One can opt to either working in a group or working individually. for a project, for example. What one needs to see is what works best for the particular project, individual work or group work. To see what gives the best result and to choose them, then to choose it accordingly. For example, my boyfriend works in an IT company, and he sometimes does on his own some projects because there is no need to make a group. There is no need to work together to create, for example, a single LinkedIn page. But if they work on a giant project, they call it project giants. So they are constantly working together. They are coding together. They are tailoring the site together. They have not a very big team, but they have 2 front-end developers and 1 back-end developers, and all of the designers. They usually don't. They usually don't count them because there are too many of them. Like that. None of the options are without merit. Both have its pros and cons. So today we're going to take a look at the advantages and disadvantages of working individually. When you are working in an organization, there will be instances where you will have to work in teams and sometimes as an individual. It all depends upon the type of task which you are assigned. Employees usually prefer their own style of approach for working, where some like to work on their own and a few others enjoy working in as a team. Both kinds of approaches have their own advantages and disadvantages. So deciding which one is better can be finalized by having a look at the below pros and cons. Jeffrey Stibel has said, programmers are exponentially faster when coding as individuals. Designers do their best work alone. Artists rarely collaborate, and when they do, it rarely goes well. You become very efficient when working individually. Things get completed quickly, no chances of any conflicts, and you are praised for all the work you've done. So you take the full credit. Advantages. Creative ideas are flown in through brainstorming sessions. Advantages of working in a team. In a team to do a big amount of work in a short period of time. Okay, good. So you have these brainstorming sessions, peer pressure, a good networking opportunity, and letting others win sometimes. So advantages of working individually. Let's elaborate. Whatever a person chooses to do, there are advantages to it. Do take a look at some of the pros of working individually or the benefits of working for yourself. You are the boss. Be the boss. One major plus or advantage of working alone is that a person needs not to be answerable to someone else. They can be the boss. They can choose to do things the way they want to. You take the full credit. However one may have done a job, the credit goes to the person alone. The reason being that the job was done alone by him. There will not be anyone else to share it. One would also never have to feel disillusioned, like when a person who did less still gets acknowledgement for a job well done, just because he was a part of a team. However, since a person is opting to work alone, there will not be there won't be any more issues. Focus. When you are alone doing a job, it becomes more convenient for one to concentrate properly. Interruptions are as well much less when the person works alone. It becomes easy to focus. If in a group, one could get easily carried away while conversing, Work also becomes less productive as the group gets more involved in chatting, gossip sessions, and so on. Decide what to do and when. Even if the job is given to a person, it still is the person who decides how to go about it. The person can choose what to do and at what time, so as to get the best results. One is in charge of the goal while working individually. There would be no one else to interrupt. There will be not anyone to differ with the choices made. One can choose when to start and complete a job. Become independent. Since the sole responsibility will be with one person, they would also learn to make their own choices. One will go on to be the decision maker, one as they learn to be more independent. Since the person is not working in a group, one cannot hope to get any help or suggestions from any other person. Consequently, the person would learn to do the job on his own. If a person is working alone, there is no pressure from anyone to do the job in a certain way or at a particular time. No one would try to influence their idea on someone. One would have to make proper decisions. It would also be an opportunity to find oneself. One need not get approval or even help from someone else to complete the job. There are no interruptions to complete the work if one chooses to work alone. The person would also not be distracted watching others at work, so work can get done more efficiently and promptly. There will not be any further delay in the work. If the person is opting to work individually, one would need to distribute work equally among the others in the group. There will also not be any confusion like at the time when someone is given more work to do in comparison to the other. Since there is only one person, there will be no one vying to get the job done. Also, there is no competition to get the job done. Know what's going on. A person working alone would have a better knowledge of how things are. They would know the complete status of a job. The person would know what to expect. The person who is working individually will know about the total progress of the job. They would also be aware of how much time would be needed to complete it. More clarity. Since there is only one person doing the job, one will find that things are more clear as there is no confusion. There will not be too many people to put in their ideas or thoughts on how to complete the work properly. Lack of confusion also means better clarity for the person to finish the work. A challenge to work alone. It would be a challenge to work alone. People may find it difficult to come up with ideas on their own. Nevertheless, it would be interesting for people to come up with viable ideas without any help. One would have to work alone and cannot rely on someone else. It would also make them more creative. What about the disadvantages? Aside from the advantages, there are some disadvantages as well as working alone, same as with working in a team. Below, we are going to list some of the cons of working individually. Long time. Sometimes a person might opt to work alone on a project or job. This project might complete easier when done in a group because there are more people contributing to it. However, still, someone because of various other reasons might opt to work alone. The person might take longer to complete or to do the job rather than when in a group. No help. If a person opts to work individually on a project or job, one cannot expect someone else to be there to support one throughout the project. One would have to come up with the ideas on their own, and there will be anyone else to share or come up with the ideas to complete the job. In case of any confusion, the person would have to solve it on their own. Sole responsibility. One would have the sole responsibility for the project. There wouldn't be anyone else to help with it or even shoulder the responsibility. In case if the job ends in failure, one would have to assume the responsibility on their own. There wouldn't be someone else to take over for the person. No one to motivate. One other thing to consider while working in a group is that there will not be anyone to motivate the person who has taken up the job. If everyone loses heart in between, the person will have to motivate oneself to complete the job with success. One thing to take into consideration is when one is working alone, one doesn't have anyone else to come up with their ideas. So the person would be constrained with just his idea to work on. Mostly working on creative projects, one might feel the loss of other people who come in with different ideas. Not many skills. It's understood that not even the most competent or qualified person can have all the skills to do all the jobs. However, if one is working in a group, you can find a group of people with a variety of skills to help complete the job. Delayed. In case if the person isn't able to complete the job on time, or if one falls ill in between job, there won't be anyone who can take up the job and complete it for you. If in a group, someone else could take over for the person and do the job well. However, since the person is working alone, that wouldn't be possible. Too much of stress. Completing work is time-consuming and involves lots of stress. Since a person is working alone, completing the entire task can be heavy. At the same time, if there is a group of people involved in doing the job, they can share the work equally amongst themselves. It can be a bit boring. When a person is working alone, to complete a job can get a bit boring. Chances one could get bored having no one to talk to or even share ideas with while on the job. A person could get lonely unlike one working in a team. Cool. So there are two notions. Dasha, well done. So there are two notions, a group and a team. Can you type in the chat box the difference between a group and a team? What do you think? What's the difference between a group and a team? Nowadays, group or team concept is adopted by the organization to accomplish various client projects. When two or more individuals are classed together, either by an organization or out of social needs, it's known as a group. On the other hand, a team is the collection of people who are linked together to achieve a common objective. Most of the work in a business entity is performed in groups. Although the individual personality of an employee is important, their effectiveness depends on the teams in which they are working collectively to achieve any objective. In a particular team, there can be several groups in which the group members individually help their leader to accomplish the goals. Let's have a look. A group is an assemblage of persons who work, interact, and cooperate with one another in achieving a common goal in a specified time. The identity of the group members is taken individually the members share information and resources with other group members. In an organization, the groups are made on the basis of common interests, beliefs, experience in common fields, and principles, so that they can easily coordinate with each other. There are two kinds of groups, formal and informal groups. Formal are groups created by the management of the organization for performing a specific task. Informal is the formation of these groups. The formation of these groups is done naturally in an organization to satisfy the social or psychological human needs. For example, ethnic groups, trade unions, friendship circles, airline flight crew, etc. So let's have a look at the basis for comparison of the group and the team. Considering the meaning of a group and the team. A group is the collection of individuals who work together in completing a task. A team is a group of people having collective identity joined together to accomplish a goal. Leadership is has only leadership. A group has only one leader, while a team can have more than one leader. Process. First of all, in a group, you discuss, decide, and delegate. In a team, you discuss, decide, and do. Products, work products. In a group, it's individual. In a team, it's collective. Speaking about members, in group, it's independent they are independent members. In a team, they are interdependent. So they depend on each other. Interdependent. The focus in a group is accomplishing individual goals. In a team, it's accomplishing team goals. Accountability, group individually, in a team, either individually or mutually. Right. Definition of a team. A group of people who are joined for achieving a common goal within a stipulated period, having collective accountability, is known as the team. The agenda of the team is one for all and all for one. Apart from sharing information, the team members also share the responsibility of the team task. The team is always responsible for the outcome. For example, result of the collective efforts of the team members. The team members have a mutual understanding with other members. They work jointly to maximize the strengths and minimize the weaknesses by complementing each other. The most important feature of a team is synergy. For example, the team can achieve much more as the members can achieve individually. The three key features of team functioning are cohesion, confrontation, and collaboration. For example, a football team team for accomplishing a project, team of doctors, management team. So the key differences between a group and a team are: there is only one head in a group. A team can have more than one head. The group members don't share responsibility, but team members do share the responsibility. The group focuses on achieving the individual goals. Conversely, the team members focus on achieving the team goals. The group produces individual work products as opposed to the team who produces collective work products. The process of the group is to discuss the problem, then decide and finally delegate the task to individual members. On the other hand, a team discusses the problem, decides the way of solving it, and finally do it collectively. Solve it collectively. The group members are independent. Unlike a group, the team members are interdependent. What about the similarities of a group and a team? Two or more than two people, interaction of members, face-to-face relationship, focus on the achievement of an objective, leader, and sharing of information and resources. A team is qualitatively different from a group. A team plays a very vital role in the life of the members. The team members, as it motivates the members for working creatively and actively participating in the team tasks. Moreover, a team stimulates the members to work with one another in achieving an objective. The group is also not less. The group also helps the members in developing a sense of conformity between the members and respect the group values. It increases their resistance to change. Above all, the power of a group is always more than individual. Right. So, another point I would like to highlight today is what? Is the processes and the forming of the group work or teamwork. Forming, storming, norming, and performing, or adjourning. It's a Tuckman's model for nurturing a team to high performance. So here is the Tuckman's model of nurturing a team to high performance. You can't just switch on teamwork. It takes time for a new team to gel and to work or to its full potential. What's more, team members go through stages as they move from strangers to core workers. Bruce Tuckman's forming, storming, norming, and performing model describes these stages. When you understand Tuckman's model, you'll know how to help your new team to become effective, faster. Let's look at how. Psychologist Bruce Tuckman came up with the memorable phrase, forming, storming, norming, and performing in his 1965 paper, Developmental Sequence in Small Groups. It describes the path that teams follow on their way to high performance. Later, he added a fifth stage, adjourning or mourning, to mark the end of a team's journey. In the beginning, when a new team forms, individuals will be unsure of the team's purpose, how they fit in, and whether they'll work well with one another. They may be anxious, curious, or excited to get going. However, they feel they'll be looking to the team leader for direction. This may take some time as people get to know their new colleagues and one another's way of working. So what about storming? In the storming stage, people start to push against the established boundaries. Conflict or friction can also arise between team members as their true characters and their preferred way of working surface and clash with other people's. At this stage, team members may challenge your authority of management and even the team's mission. Left unchecked, this can lead to face-to-face confrontations or simmering online tensions. If roles and responsibilities aren't yet clear, individuals might begin to feel overwhelmed by their workload or frustrated at a lack of progress. Gradually, the team moves into the norming stage. People start to resolve their differences, appreciate one another's strengths, and respect your authority as a leader. Now that they know one another better, your team members will feel more comfortable asking for help and offering constructive feedback. They'll share a stronger commitment to the team's goals, and they should make good progress toward it. Now the team is on floor and performing to its full potential. With hard work and structured processes, the team is likely to achieve its goals efficiently. Judy Stein from MTI's HR department says of this stage, roles on the team may have become more fluid, with members taking on various roles and responsibilities as needed. Differences among members are appreciated and used to enhance the team's performance. Mourning, adjourning stage. Many teams reach this stage naturally. For example, projects come to an end, permanent teams are disbanded, and people redeployed. People who like routine or who have developed close working relationships with colleagues may find this time very difficult. So here are some steps to ensure that you are doing the right thing at the right time. First of all, identify the stage that your team is at from the descriptions above. Consider what you need to do to move on to the next stage. Schedule regular reviews of where your team is at and adjust your behavior and leadership approach accordingly. Tuckman's model isn't a one-way street. Teams may go back and forth between stages. When you hit the performing stage, keep observing your team's progress in case it slips back. For example, a new team member can disrupt the group dynamic, or a new business direction might mean you have to reevaluate your team roles and goals. So, forming to storming. To establish clear objectives for the group at the first stage, create a team charter. Help team members to set personal goals so that they can see how their work will fit with the bigger picture. The forming stage is also about people getting to know one another. If you are working remotely, try virtual onboarding exercises to forge a group bond and establish buy-in to your vision. Storming to norming. Storming can make or break a team, so it's essential that you establish processes to track the progress and success of tasks. The group must also feel safe putting forward ideas. To build team trust, try asking for help on tasks. That way, you'll encourage people to reflect on what they can offer and what they need from the other team members. Don't leave team conflicts unchecked, but remember that a little friction can be a good thing. It might reveal inefficiencies for the group to fix together and ultimately lead to innovation. But you may have to help quieter team members to have their say. Avoid louder individuals dominating face-to-face or virtual team meetings. Ask for and hear everyone's point of view. Norming to performing. Get your team to bond further with face-to-face or virtual team building exercises. These social connections are especially important right now, as more of us work from home. So keep them up through the norming period and beyond. Use your regular one-to-ones to encourage individuals to step back, review their goals, take responsibility for them. When the team has settled into the performance stage, you can focus on other goals and new areas to benefit the business. Free up more time for yourself and boost team engagement by delegating tasks and projects. You should also make time for the group's personal development. Discuss with your team what opportunities and resources are available to them, such as the Mind Toolkits. Take the time to celebrate the team's achievements. Having positive shared experiences will make it easy if you work with some of the same people again in the future. If any team members feel uncertain about what's ahead, boost their confidence and career prospects by praising them at company meetings. Offer to provide LinkedIn recommendations and references if they're moving on. You can also ask the group for 360-degree feedback to reflect, learn, and better manage future teams. Psychologist Bruce Tuckman described how teams move through stages known as forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjoining. You can use Tuckman's model to help your team to perform better. First, identify the stage your team is at. Then use our tips to move them through the stages. Remember, teams can slip back at a stage too. Use Tuckman's model to continually review where your team is at and make any necessary changes to get back on course. Right. So what about the effective collaboration? Let's have a look at the video of effective collaboration. Just a second. The power of teamwork.
No, Dory!
Dad, I know what to do!
Nemo, no!
We have to tell all the fish to swim down together!
Get out of there
I
now!
know this will work!
No, I am not gonna lose you again!
Dad, there's no time! It's the only way we can save Dory! I can do this!
You're right. I know you can.
Lucky Finn!
Now go! Hurry!
Tell all the fish to swim down!
Well, you heard my son! Come on!
Dory, you have to tell everybody to
Swim down together! You understand what I'm saying to you? Swim down!
Everybody swim down! Come on, you have to swim down!
Down! Swim down! Swim down! Swim down! Don't give up! Keep swimming! Just keep swimming!
Non è tu na. Wimpo! Ok, pivotara. Pomelo?
Right. It's a nice video that shows the power of team and the power of collaboration in a team. So let's have a look. So there are 4 stages in group work based on the materials of the University of Leicester, Great Britain. The first stage is familiarization. The individual members of the group get to know each other and begin to understand the task they need to undertake. Time spent at this stage discussing your individual areas of interest and skills will be invaluable in helping your group develop a sense of its own identity, including its strengths and weaknesses. Make sure everyone understands what it is they will need to achieve. The table below can be used as a checklist. The product, report, oral presentation, or poster. What guidelines have been set by your department to govern this work? The time scale, date of final presentation or submission. What things need to be done before you hand in your work? How much time should you spend on the group project in relation to your other commitments? The assessment, the way your activity or output will be marked. Do you know the assessment criteria? Will you be assessed as a group or as individuals? Planning and preparation. The stage when a group should plan exactly what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and who should do what, including agreeing on different elements of the task, agreeing the best way of achieving these tasks by dividing areas of responsibility amongst the group, dividing tasks up according to the skills of different group members, making an action plan of what needs to be done, by when, working towards the final deadline. Making an action plan of what needs to be done by when, and working towards the final deadline. Stage number 3, implementation. Implementation, whilst a group carries out its tasks, it's necessary to preserve the group's sense of purpose. Effective communication is vital, particularly when your group activity extends over time. Share telephone numbers and emails at an early stage to facilitate contact between members of the group. Set up a group chat and an email distribution list for rapid communication so that issues or problems can be flagged up as when they arise. Establish regular meetings of the whole group to check on progress and review action plans. Take notes to help record complex discussions. Completion. The final stage of your project is often the most difficult and may require a different management approach. It will be vital to ensure that you pay close attention to detail, tie up loose ends, and review the whole product rather than your discrete part of it. It's important to regroup at this stage to agree a new action plan for the final burst of activity. So, how to survive? The survival plan. Just a second. Show your readiness to help the group. Accept the role the group gives you. Carry out your role the best you can. Share your views. Don't dominate meetings. Accept group decisions. Encourage other members. Motivate them. Think of solutions, not past problems. Be proud of group success. Right. So I suggest to watch also one video. Let me just open it in link.
Курсов английского много, антишкола одна. Я приглашаю вас на бесплатный пробный онлайн-урок, где за 50 минут мы...
The orders are a perfect 4-0.
One more item for you when you get a chance. We'd like it to stir up your cryo tanks.
How good can a team be? Seriously, how powerful is teamwork? Great teamwork. I mean, really ask that question. Who defines the limit? And what if we were to push that edge? Stop to think about this for a moment and realize that every team that accomplished the untouchable, every team that got out there, every team that had done what had never been done before, they all had to break through. They all had to understand that there was this edge. And then they had to challenge the edge. And then they had to break through that invisible line. They all had to do it.
Through that group of incredibly talented people bumping up against each other, having arguments, having fights sometimes, making some noise, and working together, they polish each other. And they polish the ideas. And what comes out are these really beautiful stones.
There's no other way to get through other than challenging your fears. Because in order for teamwork to be at its highest potential, everyone's got to have something on the line. You have to. Otherwise, you're only partway in. At the end of the day, you're going to need to trust those around you. To fully trust. This is about us. And you can count on me. I think about New Zealand, this country with under 5 million people, and they have the best rugby team in the world, the All Blacks. Consistently the best in the world. Or the Apollo mission, a group of people saying, we hear you, we've got you. And all of our talents are on the line to get you home. That's teamwork. Think about the Beatles. All of that music that we know of theirs, all of it, was made in about 8 years. Just 8 years. They were that incredible as a team. Great teams, I mean, they're not about individuals melting into the team. That's the mistake. People hear about the power of teamwork, and they think it's about losing yourself to the singular goal. They think it's about fully giving in to something bigger than you. You don't lose yourself. Great teammates, they don't lose themselves. They stand up. They say, I'm here. They choose to be in, and they choose to play their unique part. That's how it works. So then what's the breakthrough? What did those teams see to unlock the full power of teamwork? You know, that's the hard part. You can't see the edge. You actually don't know where it is until you cross over and look back and see where it was. That's why it's always easier. I mean, it's always easier to catch up than it is to raise the bar. Because the team that broke through, they marked the line. And now everyone else, they just need to get over that mark. The Patriots, Belichick, Brady, I mean, what they've been doing is so unbelievable because they keep raising the bar. They keep nudging it higher. So even if people catch up, it's too late. You know, Steve Jobs and Apple.
For the first time ever, I'd like to let Macintosh speak for itself.
They were operating in this abyss. I mean, they were out there in this vast unknown. So instead of breaking through, instead of seeing the line, you have to forget the line. It's just another limit. The marker in great teams is never external. Because you're out in this unknown. You're out in this unmapped territory. So instead, the power of teamwork comes from a belief. It comes from a mindset. We can't get satisfied by the breakthroughs. We can celebrate them. We should celebrate them, but we can't be satisfied by the limits. That's what humbles me the most about great teams. That's what humbles me the most about the power of teamwork. Because it's almost like you've got to operate in the darkness, knowing you're lighting the path for everyone else, and still heading out there, still pushing that edge. That's how to unlock the power of teamwork.
The coffee at the point. And on the board, take
Okay, and I wish it's your motivation for the teamwork and getting pleasure from working in a team. Thanks a lot for watching me today. See you the next week. No, I wouldn't see you the next week. I will be on vacation, so see you the next week after the next week.